team up for the twos tournament. I'm just going to play my guy, you play your guy, and then like we'll see what happens, which is wild given like the caliber of these players. We'll see what happens here now that we're inside of our top 4. This is the winners finals. Let's see if this like let's see how this unorthodox play style plays out.
Yeah, this is definitely like unstoppable force and movable object type matchup. Obviously, the blue team having some of the best defensive game we've seen so far versus a team that seemingly just wants to hold forward and try to ruin your life off stage. We see Wess immediately starting off with a nair over onto Use off stage. Lopes getting hit with a nair into GC Enlight. Vem10kilo immediately trying to swing back with a side air. And the red team look to try to get this edge guarding going. But the blue team, very little respect, just jumping back to the stage. And in the war of attrition, Use and Lopes will win every time. We see the damage already showing that.
Nice! Sidelight nair into the recovery after the pass from Lopes. There's a falling side air and then a recovery as well. Is Lopes going to get the full double KO here? Going to back up just a little bit with those blasts from the down signature. And Lopes does get the KO. It's an unofficial double KO, getting the full team wipe. But it was also off of the setup from Use. So even though it's not like I'm going to pass him to you in that moment, there's the coverage from Use's D-Sig and then the follow-up from Lopes.
Yeah, and the coverage is the name of the game. They don't go for anything flashy. They don't go for team combos or edge guards. But what happens is just constantly, continuously throwing out damage as much as possible, and it whittles you down until you lose your stock, and you kind of fall into a trance versus this team. You're thinking the damage doesn't really mean much, but when the blue team starts confirming these stocks, it gets quite difficult quite fast. We see the down signature come out from Vem10kilo going for the ground pound there. Lopes immediately flips it with the side air. We see a connection on the onto Use. Use can't make it back. Lopes going off the side there as well. Maybe he could have lived, but it might have just been enough. Maybe he wanted to go back to try to assist his teammate now as we go to 2 stocks apiece for everybody.
Yeah, good job from Wess and Vim not taking too much damage. Things might start to change here now that we saw a great follow-up from Use off of the Enlight coming out from Lopes. Lopes still needs a weapon. Here's the cannon, neutral air coming out. Also the side signature from Use. He gets the KO onto Vem10kilo. Now sights are set onto Wess. He's floating around, waiting for his teammate to come back in, moving up to the soft platforms. Here comes Vim. He grabs a weapon right away. Neutral air onto Use. Doesn't get the stock here off of Use, but
nice
a neutral
save.
air, giving the chase dodge. Can they finish this one up? Yes, it's done. They do get the stock. It was not a bait.
Which is crazy because now it comes down to an even stock situation here. So although that might have seemed like that would have a big wait for the red team to pull ahead, it's still relatively even. The side air comes in, hits Wess far away. Lopes still on a second stock with the spear online. The nair sends Wess high again, and now the red team getting split up a little bit there. The nair sends Wess in a bad spot. He picks up, he is unable to pick up a weapon. The bow recovery is enough to KO. Now both of the red team members on their last stock. Lopes stock tanking on the 7 right now.
Yeah, they weren't able to add up too much damage onto Vim while they had the man advantage. There was really one hit from Use's bow. It's going to be a KO off the top. Lopes coming in on final stock. That means everybody on final stock. Vim is the most damaged. He's behind everybody by about 50, and now he's behind Lopes about 110.
Nice side light there. Vem10kilo trying to find a nair as well to scoop. Can't send off stage another. Enlight sends off stage. Vem10kilo in a bad spot now. As the blue team, I mean, this is a bastion off the side of the stage there. One on the soft platform, one on the ground, and they can't seem to break through. They finally do, though, but Lopes and Use rack on so much damage in the process. Now Vem, one D-Light nair away, one N-Light away towards the ledge, and Use knows that as well, trying to rinse and repeat this. The side air sends off stage Wess, trying to mix up the blue team, but they get caught in the N-Light into side air, and the blue team in the war of attrition, once again showing why they're so good at this. The N-Sig not enough to KO. Lopes very healthy here. Vem10kilo, one hit away. Can he replicate a comeback here? The nair, not enough.
Lopes is just throwing out attacks. Even though this game was like pretty close. I think Lopes was in the orange, and then Use was getting a little bit closer to red, maybe at the beginning stages of red. Like, Lopes just kept attacking. He kept shooting with his cannon. He kept blasting because he knew that, like, if he missed and he got punished for it, he missed quite a bit, but he didn't get punished for it because he just, like, had the fear into the red team. And if he did get punished for it, Use was going to be right there. What a great pass. It was beautiful. Again, we're not seeing those really long extended team combos, but we still are seeing the passes in the moment. This is just Lopes. He whiffs the D-Light, then he goes up with the neutral air, gets the KO right after that, and that is a very clean game for Lopes and Use. They're looking really almost unstoppable here. We'll see if Wess and Vem10kilo can figure out how to add up the damage and then really let Wess stop dropping or start throwing those signatures out where he can just find stocks left and right that Tesca's love to do.
I'm quite interested because I don't know if this strategy that the blue team's doing has ever been successful at this level where they're not going for team combos, they're not going for edge guards, they're literally just winning 1v1s, they're getting their 1 and 2 hits and then resetting over and over. And I don't know if that's ever been the meta strategy, but the blue team mixing it up in a big way tempo-wise. Lopes avoiding that recovery off the top. Vem10kilo trying to make the tempo of his own to find that stock very early. The side air will catch Wess with their high recovery. Vem10kilo getting caught in some hit stun there with that weapon toss, but the recovery comes in from Use. And once again, as these stocks continue to extend. The blue team continue to succeed. Lopes and Use both on their first stock. Lopes in the deep red. Use barely been hit.
Yeah, Use is taking next to no damage at this point. He's still sitting pretty. Wess is tipping the edge guard here onto a very damaged Lopes. Vim is going to take his place. Is Lopes going to fall here? A really delayed recovery back to the main stage, and a recovery from the gauntlets all the way down low is going to get the stock off the top. But again, Use is still extremely healthy. As long as he doesn't take a bunch of damage, he's throwing out back-to-back neutral airs. He get 2 of them. It's almost 40 damage onto Wess. Here comes a sidelight neutral air again. That's a lot more damage too.
The blue team reset here. Lopes holding that center stage control for Use to make it back, but Wess slips through, gets a side air onto Use, but it doesn't KO. Sidelight from Lopes. No dodge read that time. Wess sends away with the gauntlet side air, and that will actually KO Use, but Use still was on his first stock there. Lopes having to play quite elusive here. Doesn't want to get hit by a team combo. Avoids the ground pound attempt from Vemtankilo, and the blue team, once again, these games continue to go on. The longer these stocks build up, the better chances for the blue team here, as they are completely icing out the momentum for the red team. Even after taking stocks, the red team can't capitalize on these 2v1s.
Yeah, they put out a lot of damage onto Lopes and got him into KO damage, but then they've just been trying to wrap this stock up. It feels like forever, and it feels like Use isn't taking damage, so if they don't get it quickly, they're going to answer 1 for 1. So now they're even further behind than they were before, just because Use is not taking any damage whatsoever while still remaining active in this game.
Yeah, usually stock tanks are the one that are holding on and taking a lot of the damage, but not getting KO'd. Both of them seemingly tanking the stocks there as Lopes goes high in that situation. Use looking for the end light there. Wess with some sweat beads. Use tries to continue with the side light. He misses the side light, doesn't continue. He just immediately resets, goes back to assist Lopes, gets a down stick off the end light, gets a recovery as well. Lopes finds a KO. Use gets a KO, and it's a 2v1. And once again, the game goes on. They hold on to their stocks longer, and the blue team continue to succeed.
Yeah, this is going to be a full stock from Vims. Let's see if they want to go for an extended team combo, given that they have like a lot of this stock that they need to get through longer than they might want to if they're doing like 1 hit at a time reset into neutral. Or Lopes may just let like Use take the lead now, and then once he gets taken out, then they kind of swap places, and Lopes is the one who takes the lead. Almost gets the exhausted recovery follow-up after hitting the first one. There's the side air. Use isn't able to punish it. Sidelight, GC sidelight coming out from Vem. He did burn his dodge, but he has to back off a cooldown now. He is maintaining his position in these fights. Like, he is not backing down. Only now did he go over the wall.
It's crazy because, you know, no extended team combo, no edge guarding. Still a lot of damage on Vemtankilo right now. The recovery will come in to find the second stock off of Use. Now everyone on their last stock, but Vemtankilo will have to play perfectly.
Lopes is just not going to fight him. Even when they've been going for like the individual 1v1 strategy, when there's that moment, Lopes in the back of his mind is like, okay, but I could have better odds by letting my teammate come back in, so I'm going to go for that. That's just like incredibly like smart decision making. The pros and cons of that really are in his favor once he decides to just wait on that. I love that. I love that risk assessment from him.
It's quite, I mean, obviously the comp is not very ordinary in terms of the Vector and the 7, but even more so the way they're playing, they're almost icing out the other team in the 2v2 space where they're not giving them anything. They go for their confirmed damage and then completely disengage. Use is always there with the bow ready to get a down stick to follow up on damage. Lopes is like, all I need to do is hit these 2 moves once they get into the deep red, and they succeed. I mean, this is such an incredibly different strategy from everything else we're seeing in South America. You're seeing Lopes and you're seeing, you're seeing Lores and Kaina playing double bow, high APM. You're seeing this with the double gauntlets from certain teams, but this blue team seemingly finding their own successful algorithm here.
Yeah, despite how difficult what they're doing is, it also still feels very simple because they don't need these like rehearsed combos or anything like that. They're just kind of playing the game individually and hitting what is in front of them. And beyond that, like, they're playing safe. It's just like a lot of smart decision making. I'm really loving this playstyle. This isn't something that we've ever seen really this successful at this level, and that's the important part. No one's ever done it in like grand finals or winners finals.
Yeah, exactly. It's the question, is this a good 2s team or is this 2 good 2s players? You know what I mean? Like, they don't show a lot of synergy, but in reality, it's quite a bit as Wess loses his stock there once again. And we talked a little bit there about the macro play here, and it immediately goes over to the side of the blue team. Once again, as these stocks extend out, they continue to succeed. They find the first stock onto Wess. Vemtankilo traded out with sidelight recovery, though the red team much closer in this game.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. We're over a minute into this one, and only Wess on the red team has been taken out. Vim is maintaining this stock until it falls just there at about 1:12. Wess is going to jump high. He's fresh on his stock, so he doesn't have to worry about like getting knocked out from a recovery or anything like that from Lopez's
what
spear.
A save!
Wow.
Lopes getting the Nair out to avoid his teammate getting KO'd off the top of the Battle Boots recovery, the Nair off of the sideline. Yuz getting a 4-piece combo. The biggest combo we've seen from this blue team has been that 4-piece from Yuz. That's going to be a lot of damage of extra credit. He finally falls there, but Wess already approaching that 100 damage marker as Lopes now continues to take to the sky, use these soft platforms. I'm not sure if Miami Dome is the pick for the red team here. I'm not sure what they're banning out, but the blue team seemingly able to disengage very well with these soft platforms.
Yeah, they're able to play like safely around them. They're also allowed to, or able to push alongside them as well. They're doing a great job so far. Lopes is going to be looking for a weapon. He hasn't done too much in the past 10 to 15 seconds. I think he really wants that weapon. Vem's going to snake it away. He's still looking for it. A down heavy from the middle of the stage. Going to send one to the right, one to the left. Here comes the cannon. They're going to be looking for a little bit more damage onto Vem. Nice turnaround on the side air after the sidelight. Bring it back towards the middle of the stage so his teammate can do some more work.
And Wess having to burn a weapon there to save his teammate from getting launched too far away. We find the first stock off of Lopes, and a side air sends Yuz in a bad spot, but Yuz holds on. And the red team, a lot of respect here. Instead of going off stage versus Yuz, they just choose to try to weapon starve Lopes. Big side signature, big swing and a miss. The end light into the GC breakdance will be enough to KO. And once again, the blue team just doing exactly what they need to do to win these games.
They're holding on to this lead. It's a very slight lead, but they're still holding on to it. There's a nice little 3-piece. It started with Lopes. The meat of the sandwich was Yuz, and then it went back to Lopes for that second piece of bread. Weapon spawn on the field. Yuz is able to grab it very quickly. Here comes the bow. Yeah, can Wess get something here? He's going in for the ground pound, hoping that a blue team member was below him. Could be a big spike. Yuz has movement. Here comes Vem. And Lopes attempts to save. He doesn't get it. Yuz is out of the game. Trade on 1-for-1. We have Lopes versus Vem.
It's over. Lopes wins out the edgeguard sequence. The red team taking the stock so early on Yuz, but it does not matter as the blue team find a big defensive play from Lopes there with the spear. He gets the triple pogo and wins the set 3-0, and they advance to grand finals.
And Lopes needed that moment, because especially in that final game, like, we can see his damage numbers right now. He only did 391. Let's look at this clip real quick. There's the start of the spike. Yuz had a lot. He's coming back up. Here comes Vem with the ground pound to follow.